But so what? Who gives a shit what anyone else thinks? Life is too short to not be courageous. Plus fear, anxiety, worries, they're always going to be knocking at the door, and they'll kick your ass if you allow them to. Better Man, choosing courage over fear. This is the Better Man channel, where the mission is to equip men with the tools, the mindset, the intellect to be able to combat anxieties, worries, fears that we are inevitably going to be faced with, and overcome those with some courageous acts, some courageous thinking, a courageous life. A few days ago, I left a comment on a YouTube video talking about the mind, how powerful the mind is, and how we can overcome everything with the power of thought, the power of our mindset. And another guy left a comment saying, yeah, but the divorce court or divorce or family court is more powerful than the mind. And I get where he's coming from. And we had a few comments where we replied back and forth to each other. And so he had been through a divorce, as have I been through a divorce, the custody battle, and it can be a horrible thing. And there's a lot of anger that results from that and accompanies that. There's a lot of worries, anxieties, fears. Damn, it's a horrible thing to go through. And so I was understanding from where he was coming from, but we can always come up with valid reasons why we don't have the power to overcome something. And it's always going to be valid. There's always going to be reasons that can justify remaining idle and standing in fear, standing in anxiety, standing in just the comfort of not having to go into the unknown. But as men, it is vital that we begin utilizing the very skills of dominance, assertiveness, courageous that we've been given, that characterize the true aspects of a man. And there's always going to be fear and anxiety. And again, courage is not the absence of those things. Courage is realizing those, recognizing what we're up against, but continuing to move forward. That's the true character of courage. And that's the true character of a man that embodies that courage. And I like to think of it as the movie Braveheart. Many of us are probably familiar with that, where William Wallace, he's up against these injustices against his people, his country, and he knows that inevitably death is going to result for him standing up and trying to right the wrongs. But it's a worthy cause, and he moves forward in that despite the anxieties, the fears, the worries of death, loss of life. He moves forward because there's something greater than him. He wants to leave a legacy. He removes the selfishness and says that its cause is greater. It's for my country. It's for the future of my people. And while we may not all face those same trials, or maybe we don't want to stand up for country, but even on an individual level, there's always going to be some grave injustice against us, some seemingly thing that wants to put its foot on our throat. And if we allow it, it's going to keep us on the ground. We all have something in our life that is pushing us back when we want to move forward. And it's easy to say, well, those they're bigger than me. They're more powerful than me. But that's no reason not to begin to exhibit courage. That's not any reason to begin to be less than and have a less than mindset. This country was founded on men that said, you know what, we're going to remove your foot from our throat. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be some clean, easy process. It's going to be messy. Lives are at stake. Lives are going to be lost, but we're going to base this country on freedom. We're going to base this country on our ideals, our values, our beliefs. And that's what it comes down to as a man. There's always going to be something that's going to put some fear, that's going to put some worry, that's going to keep us in the shadows if we allow it. But beginning to employ the courageousness that is within man, that is in our spirit, we make that go to work for us, and we find something larger than life. Every one of us has something in our lives that we could begin to go to work on, that's going to improve our lives and make us better, give us some liberty, give us some freedom. But it's going to require courage to do it. And we can call it laziness, procrastination, excuses, whatever the hell you want to call it. But we all have them. We've all come up with them. And really, it's just keeping in the shitty shadows, man, where we're not living our true lives. There's always going to be a damn reason to come up with why you're not living your best life. I don't want to have any more reasons. I don't want to make up any excuses. I want to have the courage to move forward. You're not going to put your boot over my throat any longer. And I may lose my life. I may metaphorically lose my ego. But so what? Who gives a shit what anyone else thinks? Life is too short to not be courageous. Because fear, anxieties, worries, they're always going to be knocking at the door. And they'll kick your ass if you allow them to. But we're men, created to kick ass back. And to use our courage, use our dominance, use our assertiveness to find something that's bigger than life. Grab a hold of that and leave a legacy. There's no room to be selfish. That's not what life's about. Kick ass, let it be known. Leave a legacy for those men coming behind you that you stood for your beliefs, your traditions, your ideals. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next video.